much pride in the shirt that the Sydney United players have got, and I'm sure from what we've seen in previous rounds that the players of Sydney United have got a lot of pride. So don't worry about the financial aspect or the troubles that Sydney United may have when it comes to playing on a Sunday afternoon. They're going to be there fighting their hardest, I can tell you.
Well, let's toss the coin over this time and talk about Sydney Olympic. Quality team on paper. A couple of your old sparring partners, Tsekenis at the back with Taliadoros. Does that surprise you that they've been converted to defenders?
Not really, because Kimon obviously knew which way to outsmart the defenders when he was a striker, a former striker with Marconi in South Melbourne. So it hasn't really been that much of a surprise to see Kimon go back to defence, and he's obviously performing very well. So there's no big surprises there, and they've formed a really good partnership this season so far.
Yeah, they certainly have. Well, testimony to the depth at Sydney Olympic is the fact that Adem Poric will not start today's game, and we asked him all about that before the game. Adem, your fiery temper got you in a bit of trouble 2 weeks ago, and you've missed the big Sydney derby.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was an unfortunate incident. One of those things that happen in football. You know, it was a big atmosphere, 19,000 there, which was good for the game. But obviously not for me and Mark Rudin. We spent an early bath, 15 minutes, and then we're out. And obviously we both missed last week's games, which is unfortunate for myself. And today I'll be missing from the starting lineup.
I guess it says a lot about the depth at Sydney Olympic when you can't get a gig.
Well, it is. You know, we've got a strong side. We've got players coming back all the time. You know, young Jason stepped in after being injured, broke his leg early doors, and he's come back into the side and he's done a good job. 45 minutes. He did well last week, and hopefully he'll last a bit longer this week.
Adem Poric singing the praises of Jason Culina there, and knows that he's got a hell of a job to get back into this team. Well, let's just have a look at the Sydney United team lineup. Michael, I guess not too many huge names there, but they'll be out for all 3 points. They'll be fired up for this afternoon's game.
They certainly will, as we look at Jacob Burns, Walter Ardone and Richard Plesa there in the midfield, providing the ammunition, hopefully, for Dave Mitchell and Millie Sterjovski. So don't be surprised if there's 1 or 2 goals coming from Sydney United this afternoon.
Well, we've got the Sydney Olympic team now. They'll be up very, very shortly. I just think about Jason Culina. Have they rushed Jason Culina back into this team too quickly? He did have a broken leg not too long ago. Well,
first reports during the pre-season was Jason Culina was going to miss probably the first month or two of the National League soccer campaign. So to rush him back is obviously a gamble that Branko's had to take. Must be very happy with his performance last week against Brisbane. So, if he's doing the job, then you've got to play him.
You must have a tip, Michael, for today's match. Let's put your head right on the block. Who do you think's going to win and by how many?
I just think with the attacking prowess of Norman Tome and Pablo Cardozo up front for Sydney Olympic, I think maybe their attacking guns might be a bit too powerful for the Sydney United defensive after they've had to readjust things this week. So for my liking, I think Sydney United just by the odd goal.
Michael Brook's opinion of this game. Well, it's very warm, it's very blustery. We're in for a cracker of a Sydney derby as we take you now to your match commentator, Mike Cockrell.
Thank you very much, Paul Wade. It's a beautiful spring afternoon here in Sydney for the classic local derby, United against Olympic. The crowd still coming in. The man in the middle this afternoon is Jerry Connolly from Melbourne. It's his job to keep a lid on the emotions which often go with the fixture of this importance. But this afternoon, Sydney United back at their familiar home ground of Edensor Park. Of course, the club spent last season at Parramatta. They're back here. The crowd has come out in force to support them, to lift them, hopefully, to what surely would be an upset of some description. Sydney Olympic certainly among everybody's favourites for the championship this season. The game is underway, and it's an early touch for Eagleton, Steve Eagleton, on the right side of midfield this afternoon for the Pumas, playing against his former club, of course. Steve Eagleton signed during the week. The ball is out, the flag is up. So a reshaped Sydney United side this afternoon. As we've already discussed, a lot of injuries and suspensions for the Pumas. Danny Townsend, good pace to get past Kalantzis. The ball in the middle has created problems. And in the end, Tsekenis is cool, but he's given it away. Townsend again in there quickly. Burns closed down as well. Now David Mitchell wide on the left, tracked by Taliadoros. Tries to come inside. Emerton has followed him over to that far corner. And in the back there, right in front of the referee, was Santolab on Cardozo. Paul Wade, great to see David Mitchell back on the park.
Oh, indeed.
There are very few explosive players in Australia as well as around the world. David Mitchell is one of the very few. Even at the tender age of, how old is he now, Michael?
36.
36 years of age. He can still out-sprint some of the young guns in this competition. I'm looking forward to a real top solid performance from David Mitchell, one that the leadership qualities will bring out.
Good strong jump there from Plesa, who has played impeccably so far this season. Here's Mitchell now on the ball. Down he goes. Free kick, says Jerry Connolly. Yes, David Mitchell's been plagued by an asthma problem during the build-up to the season. Doesn't feel he's capable of lasting the 90 minutes this afternoon. Probably the heat won't help him either. So having decided now to start himself, David Mitchell wants to make an impact. And here he is doing just that, over the top there from Mitchell. But an early warning sign for Sydney Olympic. David Mitchell, the former Socceroo, has scored plenty of goals in some of the top leagues in Europe. That one over the top. So Mitchell and Mile Sterjovski are up front for Sydney United. Danny Townsend, the youngster recruited from Manly Warringah, just his second start of the season and of his career, in fact, will play on the right side of the midfield. Townsend, number 15, a very, very quick player indeed. Sterjovski looking lively. Eagleton. Layoff is there from Townsend. Burns was hustled off the ball by Brennan. And Ciantar clears. But Sydney United looking very determined in these early stages. The long ball by Plesa will find Townsend. Townsend in behind his man, and it's a goal! Unbelievable! Danny Townsend, out of nothing really, has got the bounce of the ball. Jim Kourtis could only watch in horror. The perfect start for Sydney United, and it's the youngster Danny Townsend who's gotten a goal. Kalantzis was across there. How about that for a rebound, Paul Wade?
Oh, Danny Townsend, he won't be able to sleep tonight with this. A little bit fortunate, Chris Kalantzis kicking the ball onto his foot, but hey, there's no way in the world he'll let him get away with that one. That's his goal.
Well, what a moment for this young man. 21 years of age, the New South Wales First Division Player of the Year. Has gotten a perfect start. Sterjovski in on the keeper. Kourtis parries. It must be 2-0 Sydney United. And it's Steve Eagleton. Well, the crowd's gone berserk. What a dream start for the Pumas. What a calamity for Jim Kourtis. Straight from the kickoff, Steve Eagleton has extended that lead. Let's have a look at it again. Sterjovski in behind, a very porous defence there. The shot was only parried by Kourtis straight into the path of Eagleton. He couldn't really miss. 2-0.
Well, my comments before the game like this could be lambs to the slaughter is probably exactly what Sydney Olympic were thinking going into this game. They're just not got their focus on the game whatsoever. They're arguing. Peter Tsekenis is arguing with Norm Tome, a distance of 60 metres. And there's no wonder this crowd has erupted. What a buzz.
2-0 inside 5 minutes. What a turn-up that is. Sydney Olympic going into this game with a share of the competition lead, 100% record, 2 wins out of 2. But this now is very much a test of character for Sydney Olympic. United are hungry. Down goes Townsend. Kalantzis already showing some signs of frustration with the youngster. And he's getting a word from the referee, Chris Kalantzis. So Steve Eagleton and Danny Townsend are on the mark already as the long free kick comes in. Kourtis with the take. He's been fouled in the process. Well, they're not the biggest names going around in the Ericsson Cup, but they've got the goals that matter so far.
Oh, indeed. What a dream start. This is Roy of the Rovers stuff, this. I used to get magazines about this sort of stuff. I guess the biggest problem now is that Sydney United have got to hold out a 2-0 lead for about 85 minutes, and that's probably going to be as tough a job as you'll ever find. I don't think this game's over by a long shot.
Culina fouled in midfield, wants to take it quickly. The ball, though, was placed well off the mark. It has to be retaken. Emerton now on that right side. The United fans already finding their voice, and why wouldn't they? Ardone going in strongly on Thomas, and Emerton still going. Brett Emerton. It breaks for Cardozo. He has Kalantzis to his left. Jason Culina now looking to weave some magic. He might have done so. It was a last-ditch tackle there from Barrett. And Kalantzis and Barrett tussle again. The ball's out of play. That will be a throw to Olympic. Here is Kalantzis. Cross is deep. Thomas on the edge of the box. Scotty Thomas given far too much latitude there. A warning sign as well then for Sydney United. On that far side, Scotty Thomas did enough to get the space for the shot. And fortunately for him, he wasn't, well, I should say fortunately for Sydney United, he didn't make them pay. So a throw to Sydney United, taken by Peter Bennett. Playing on that left side this afternoon for Sydney United. And Taliadoros brings down Mitchell. Well, I'm sure there's going to be some serious post-mortems among the Olympic players about how United have got off to this start. We can see there Taliadoros all over Mitchell, who probably used a bit of experience there as well to get the decision. In it comes. Away by Ciantar, but Steve Eagleton has plenty of room now. Goes for the long ball, left by Ciantar. Kourtis has to come out to the edge of his area.
Michael, I don't think the problem's been solved at the back. We've got Peter Tsekenis and Ciantar arguing about who's picking up who. Kimon Taliadoros is standing there looking at both of them. I really don't think they've solved the problem yet.
Thomas tries to feed Brett Emerton, who was galloping down that far side. He's won the free again. Quickly taken. Thomas with a cross. Away by Barrett. Taliadoros now with possession for Olympic. Mitchell's done ever so well. And Sterjovski is onside. Good release there from Burns. Sterjovski through against the keeper. And that is a very disappointing finish from Sterjovski. Townsend seemed to be completely unmarked inside him. And it could have been 3-0. Disappointing there, really, Paul Wade.
Well, I can only say that he couldn't have seen him. Maybe the atmosphere, maybe the occasion caught him. You know how difficult it is to score goals, and it's usually because you get a rush of blood. And I don't think he could believe his luck when he found himself in the situation he was.
Well, United are really just carving up Olympic here. Here they go again. Townsend slots it square. Oh. Sterjovski, save and a half from Kourtis. It could have been 4. Sydney Olympic have serious problems in their own defence. Townsend's creating havoc. Sterjovski this time was on target, but Kourtis excels with the save. You can hear the cries going around the ground here at Edensor Park. They're loving every minute of it. Burns now with the corner. Goes near post. Mitchell jumps, missed by the keeper. Away there by Brennan. Put back in by Ardone. And in the end, Jim Kourtis will take the relief of a goal kick. Well, Olympic have been perhaps adventurous in putting 2 players at the back in Tsekenis and Taliadoros, who haven't played there before. It's worked so far this season, but perhaps it's unravelling at the moment.
Oh, indeed. They're still arguing after every breakdown of the Sydney United attack. They argue with each other. I've never seen so many players point fingers. And the thing is, Branko Culina is motionless on the far side of the ground. He's standing there, as he always does, by the dugout, and he is unmoved. I don't think he can actually believe what is happening to his football team.
10 minutes gone. What a scoreline for the home team here. And Tsekenis tangles with Townsend, who is being a real nuisance for this Sydney Olympic team. The ball seemed to have been kept in there. In fact, the free kick goes to Olympic for the earlier foul, not the one you just saw. Culina gallops forward, gets a tug from Ardone on the shirt. The referee plays the advantage. Eagleton away. Well, I'm sure that Olympic back four will also be pointing a few fingers at the midfield players as well, Paul Wade. Oh, indeed.
When you consider that Jason Culina is only having his second or third gallop, you just wonder whether the players that Branko Culina's put in are the right choice. I know that Norm Tome is coming into midfield, as you can see him now, to get the ball because he's getting no service at all.
Thomas with the cross. Brave, courageous play there by Plesa. The crowd like that. Taliadoros is in there smartly on Mitchell, who then goes in fairly, according to the referee. No free kick for Olympic, much to Kimon Taliadoros' surprise, I'm sure. What a derby match we have. It's pure adrenaline at the moment, and Mitchell is clattered by Taliadoros. David Mitchell won't mind that. He gives every bit as much as he gets.
Been there, done that, played in the toughest leagues in the world, in Scotland and the likes. The interesting thing is that Sydney United are really stretching this back four of Sydney Olympic right across the park. Eagleton and Townsend on this side have not moved more than 15-20 metres away from the touchline, and Chris Kalantzis has to keep looking over his shoulder while the ball's on the other side of the ground for fear that they're going to sneak in behind. Usually Chris Kalantzis does the sneaking in behind. I tell you what, Chris has never had to work so hard so far back in defence. Psychologically, Sydney United have got them on the ropes.
Yes, it could have been 3, even 4. Sterjovski, a couple of golden opportunities to extend that lead. Wasn't able to do so. So that gives Olympic a glimmer of hope. Of course, we saw in Brisbane last night, Perth Glory come back from 2 goals down inside the last 10 minutes, so it can be done. And Branko Culina has already started to warm up his substitutes, maybe to nudge some of those players out on the park. That if they're not going to do the job, then he has players who might just be able to do it themselves. Long ball forwards to Sterjovski and Tsekenis. The corner goes to the Pumas. Another chance to exert some pressure. Tsekenis feels he was pushed. The referee not interested. And it's going to be Burns to deliver the ball into the middle. There's some tall timber there as well. Santolab is up. David Mitchell will put himself about, I'm sure, right on the goal line. He's trying to stand in front of the keeper, Jim Kourtis, to put him off. In it comes. And Kourtis there does well with a clean take. Flag up against Mitchell, coming back from an offside position.
Michael, I think we saw a perfect example of how frustrated Sydney Olympic are when Norm Tome gets the ball in his final third.
Good cross from Cardozo, just wide there from Olympic. Picked out there was Scotty Thomas with that late run into the box. Should have found the target. Perfect ball from Cardozo. It seemed easier to find the target than miss there.
You almost think that this is going to be a cricket score one way or the other. Forget defending, let's just go all out attack and entertain this crowd.
That was a great chance there for Olympic to strike back. Squandered really by Thomas. But the encouraging thing is he did make the run. He did find the space. On that far side for United is Peter Bennett, is the referee Jerry Connolly. Confers with the fourth official about something. I'm not sure what that was about. Emerton gets some width from Kalantzis, but Townsend was back following his man. Here's Burns now. Emerton slides in, wins it cleanly. And he was clipped on the heel there by Jacob Burns. Good inspirational stuff there from Brett Emerton. Olympic need a lot more of it. Tsekenis into the feet of Tome. Deep ball, Kalantzis unmarked. Could have been found. Barrett and Eagleton asking the question, whose man was that? Well, the crowd have certainly got their money's worth already. An eventful start to this match. United with 2 goals inside the first 5 minutes, would you believe? Brennan, the Englishman. Emerton gets the return from Cardozo. Emerton looking to find some room for the shot. It hasn't been cleared. Brennan now. Kalantzis. Here's danger now. Good ball in from Kalantzis. Got a touch from Tome, who just couldn't direct it into the goal. Well, that is 2 very good opportunities for Olympic in the space of a couple of minutes. And there's goals in this game. There's more goals left in this. Don't worry about that. Unlucky there was Tome. Good ball in from Kalantzis. Mitchell jumping with Taliadoros, who's been caught. Mitchell using his arms, gives away the free kick. Pablo Cardozo looking to create something. Look who's moved forward. It's Taliadoros looking for the run of Kalantzis, who had to stretch, handled the ball in the process. Couldn't quite get there, Chris Kalantzis, but again, he's getting himself a metre or 2 on this left side.
I think it's a warning for Sydney United, really. I mean, Eagleton and Townsend, we've spoken about them in attack, but they've got to remember that they've got a defensive job to do as well. And Cardozo and Tome at the moment, lethal strikers. And when you get Brett Emerton playing a sort of midfield come striker role as well, which can confuse the living daylights out of him, you never know where confusion could end.
Mitchell keeps his feet. Ardone pressured just enough by Culina. Here's Cardozo. Has to wait for some support to arrive. It comes from Taliadoros, Culina. And too much on that pass for Emerton. Eagleton now on this right side. 20 minutes gone. United with that 2-goal cushion, although Olympic have had a couple of very good chances in the last few minutes or so. Complete miss kick there from Jason Culina. Of course, playing against his former club. Taliadoros puts that one out of the ground. No, he doesn't. Bounces back into the stadium. Just a word on that crowd, Paul Wade. We talked about a full house. Hopefully, it hasn't really materialised, has it?
Very, very disappointing indeed. You know, I mean, We keep talking about the fact that we want more coverage on free-to-air television, and to get a Sydney derby of this quality, when Sydney Olympic are playing in such good football up until today, you'd expect a bigger crowd, and they just haven't turned up. And again, it's almost shooting yourself in the foot and giving everybody else reasons why we shouldn't be on free-to-air.
Ardone out the line and out of play. Couldn't get the angle on the pass. Walter Ardone, another player playing against his former club. There's a lot of players out there who've spent some time or rather in the opposite camp. Townsend tracking Kalantzis. There's two players at the opposite end of the spectrum. Kalantzis, so much experience against Danny Townsend in just his second game in this Ericsson Cup. But it's Townsend who's found the target. Handball there against Jacob Burns. Culina. Emerton. Culina with a cutback. Strong, committed challenge there from Richie Plesa, the captain of Sydney United, leading by example. But Jason Culina showing some good touches there, trying to prise open this United defence. Kalantzis with the ball into the middle, away by Santolab. Here's Culina now, down he goes, and the rebound fell to Brennan. That will be a throw to Olympic. Culina feels he was fouled. He probably had a good case. The referee, though, played the advantage, which is what the players want him to do. Emerton. Deep ball. Thomas against Bennett. That will be a corner to Olympic, their first of the match. In it comes. Missed by the keeper. Ciantar. Kalantzis. Goal for Olympic. Chris Kalantzis has struck back. Well, Andrew Cruz, the goalkeeper for Sydney United, was rooted to the spot there. Completely deceived by the shot from Kalantzis. The volley taken quickly. What a finish there from Kalantzis. And Olympic are back in the match.
That is world class. Two touches, one on the chest, quick volley, top corner. Thank you very much. I guess that's why he spent so much time in Greece. He was loved there, and he'll be loved by the Sydney Olympic fans now, because he's got them back into this game.
Townsend at the other end. Trying to find Mitchell, whose jump is a little too strong for the referee's liking. Well, there were some warning signs for Sydney United before that goal. Olympic showing good character to come back into the match, and again, it's back in the balance. Well, you get the feeling that was a matter of pride there for Chris Kalantzis. Townsend, his direct opponent, beat him for that first goal. And that is a sign of a champion player to come back and score one at the other end.
Oh, indeed. It just shows you the sort of composure you need at the highest level.
Well, Townsend's got past Kalantzis. The battle resumes. In it comes to the middle. Tsekenis clears, but Townsend has it back. Jacob Burns. Away there by Jim Kourtis, who didn't want to take any chances about whether that was going to be interpreted as a back pass or not. Kalantzis needs support. It arrives from Adem Ciantar. Plesa may have given it away in a dangerous area, but the bounce doesn't favour Olympic. United have the numbers back. Well, Olympic certainly changing things around. At the sharp end, it's been given away. It's Mitchell against the keeper, past the keeper, Mitchell slots it! Well, that is a cool hand if ever you've seen one. David Mitchell, a textbook finish there. Makes Sydney Olympic pay, and pay dearly. A dreadful mistake, really, by Adam Ciantar, I think it was. There's no other way of describing it. Look at the coolness there from Mitchell, past the keeper, and he restores that lead.
Well, Sterjovski couldn't do it, the young head. But there's the old head, that's exactly how to do it. One touch past the keeper. He made to shoot, he made it look as if he was going to shoot first time, dragged it inside, calmly slotted it with the left. And I guess that's what years and years of play in Europe against some of the best teams in the world does for you. You don't get that rush of blood at the time when you need it most.
Well, how many games are there going to be in this, how many goals, I should say, are there going to be in this game? We've had 4 already, 3 to United, 1 to Sydney Olympic, but we could have had 3 or 4 more.
Well, it reminds me of the game Argentina and England. I thought that was a cracking first 30 minutes, but this is just as good.
Steve Eagleton in there strongly. He's got a point to prove this afternoon. Dumped effectively by Sydney Olympic before the end of last season. Had to go back to the New South Wales Super League with his club Bankstown City. But had the self-confidence and the self-belief to give it another go at the Ericsson Cup, and has been rewarded with the start this afternoon for Sydney United. There's probably a moral to that story. Should never give up.
Correct.
Keep persevering, and you never know which breaks might come your way. Tome into the area. Plesa with a clean tackle.
Michael, I remember I was involved in a 5-4 game back in Melbourne in 1985. Brunswick Juventus and the Brisbane Lions on that occasion. I'm not quite sure what the record is, but this looks like it could be another.
There is goals aplenty at Edensor Park this afternoon. A shimmy there from Cardozo. Emerton. Down he goes. Barrett, the culprit. There's Brett Emerton playing further forward for Olympic this afternoon as Tome and Cardozo take turns to drop back into midfield. They're trying to mix it around a bit, Sydney Olympic. Kalantzis with the free kick. Cardozo is in there. Tome as well. That's easy pickings for Steve Eagleton. Early ball from Ardone. The back pass is dealt with comfortably by the goalkeeper, Jimmy Kourtis. Tsekenis, the captain, releasing himself into midfield, wants to make things happen. They're not happening the way Olympic want them to. Half an hour elapsed now. United back with that 2-goal cushion after that goal from Mitchell. 3-1 they lead, Olympic. They're now trying to find a way back into this match.
I think we're seeing something that could be very dangerous for Sydney United to start doing. There are at times when there are 6, sometimes 7 red shirts in a line across the back line. Now, I know they're going to try and defend this lead, But it's one sure way to come unstuck. You're leading by 2 goals and you've got to hang on for more than 45 minutes. It's a big ask and one that they're sort of teasing with danger there.
Long ball forward from Ciantar. Tome, who's playing very deep indeed this afternoon. Gets the return from Brennan. Goes for the shot from a long, long way out there. Brennan, the layoff from Emerton. They're back on the halfway line now, Olympic. Struggling to find a way forward now as the United players mass before them. Long ball now from Ciantar, away by Santolab. Back in from Taliadoros, that will be left for the goalkeeper. Eagleton. Very optimistic there from Steve Eagleton. Had 3 or 4 Olympic players in front of him. Mistake made by Santolab. Got Tome's ball. Doesn't create too many problems. United have it back. Townsend, one of the goal scorers. Left it short. Kalantzis was in there. Away by Plesa. Sterjovski beaten to the bounce by Tsekenis. And Eagleton there, just pumping it anywhere really. Kourtis has to come a long way out of his area as right in front of the referee. Burns is into the back of Brennan and gives away the free kick. Free kick played short by Tsekenis. Kalantzis. Cardozo, back heel, Kalantzis still going. And an important tackle, that one, from David Barrett, who may have hurt himself in the process. It was a strong 50-50 there between Barrett and Kalantzis. And it's going to be a corner to Sydney Olympic. In it comes from Cardozo, away by Mitchell. Culina. United have it back. The Pumas on the counter. Ardone. Sterjovski to his right. Through the middle goes Townsend. He's been found. Townsend's very quick indeed. The back pass from Scotty Thomas put Jim Kourtis under some pressure, but the goalkeeper was up to the job. And Townsend now slow in getting back, is caught offside. Hello. Emerton.
He'll be a key, Michael, Brett Emerton, if Sydney Olympic are going to get back into this game. He has an ability to work himself across from one side of the ground to the other. And even though Sydney United are winning, I just don't know how disciplined they are at passing players on. And if he can move himself into positions and doesn't get passed on properly, he could work a bit of an opening here. I wouldn't count Sydney Olympic out of this competition.
Free kick quickly taken. Olympic thought it was theirs. Lovely ball by Eagleton. Mitchell and Taliadoros with a textbook challenge. What a ball that was from Eagleton. Total misunderstanding there. Olympic thought the free kick was theirs. And the referee, Jerry Connolly, in fact, had awarded it to United. Ardone, down he goes. Surely tugged there by Cardozo, who's going to be in a spot of bother. A word from Jerry Connolly, and that's all. Well, some referees like to give out cards, some don't. Jerry Connolly, I think, falls into the latter category.
I don't think I've ever seen him give a card out. He said to me before the game that he was a player once and he didn't like receiving them, so he assumes that nobody else does, which is a good philosophy to have.
Certainly a popular figure among the players, Jerry Connolly. Likes to laugh and a joke. The free kick has found its way through to Townsend. And once again, the speed of Danny Townsend, who is lightning quick, is finding gaps in that Sydney Olympic defence. How many times does it need to happen before Olympic take the hint?
Well, I'm trying to find reasons why it's happening. I mean, the quality of players out there, they're good enough to do the job. Obviously, heat is a factor. If you've got to remember that Sydney Olympic are facing the sun, sometimes that can drain you as well. That slows the old brain down once the body starts to heat up a little bit. I'm amazed at how they haven't got it sorted out yet. There are players coming through the midfield. People like Jason Culina not going with the runner. Pablo Cardozo getting beat as well.
Good bullocking run this by Mitchell. Almost found Sterjovski in the middle. Sterjovski tangling with Tsekenis. And it's the Sydney United man who is penalised. Just over 5 minutes left in the first half. An enthralling first half it's been as well. Goals aplenty. Mitchell cleaned up there by Thomas, and he goes down. No whistle from the referee. And Walter Ardone, a little bit optimistic there. David Mitchell was crouched on his haunches. It was in no state of mind really to receive a pass of any description. And he's still down, David Mitchell. Not a scoreline which will please Olympic coach Branko Culina by any measure. There's a chance now for the players to take some respite. Mitchell is still down, and he doesn't go down unless it's fair dinkum, David Mitchell. He was caught there. David Mitchell is struggling to his feet. We'll have a look at that incident once again. And it was Thomas. Maybe the arm of Thomas caught Mitchell on the side of the head. He's certainly very groggy indeed, David Mitchell. Not a healthy man at this point. The hip is causing him some problems as well. It doesn't look good. That would be a body blow for Sydney United.
Definitely will, Michael. He's been an outlet for them down the left and right hand side, through the middle. When you hit the ball forward over the defenders, David Mitchell, more times than not, will get on the end of it purely because of his speed.
So United momentarily down to 10 men. Mitchell still off the park, receiving attention. Tsekenis. Can Olympic make something out of this extra man? They don't have too much time to do something. 5 minutes left until the break. Cardozo thought he'd kept it in play, but the assistant referee has a different opinion. Well, the up and under by Plesa. Didn't exactly work out as planned. Mitchell is now to his feet on that far side. And looks like he's going to come back on the park. And he does so. With some warm applause here from the home fans. David Mitchell is back out there, but he's in some discomfort. "36 years of age, David Mitchell, 97 appearances in the National League before this afternoon. Of course, 10 years in Europe with a variety of clubs, among them Eintracht Frankfurt of Germany, Feyenoord Rotterdam of Holland, Chelsea of England, Selangor of Malaysia. He's been around, David Mitchell, but he's still a very important member of the Sydney United team, as he has demonstrated this afternoon with that goal. And he looks like he may last until half-time, where he can get his breath back at least. Olympic hoping to do some damage before then. Chipped forward by Emerton. Tome. Emerton. The shot from Emerton. Blazed just wide there from Brett Emerton. Good build-up this from Olympic. And the finish wasn't too far away there from the Olyrood captain, Brett Emerton. Cruz with the goal kick. Chipped forward there by Thomas. Away by Plesa. Bennett in there strongly. The rebound favours Ardone. Townsend to his right. Sterjovski through the middle. Townsend in on goal. Square ball. Ardone trying to chip it up. It might work in the end. Sterjovski! He could have had a hat-trick, Mile Sterjovski. Townsend again, the outlet down this right side. The square ball was a good one. This is where the luck favoured United. That was a shot from Ardone, but somehow it found its way through to Sterjovski, who was probably caught by surprise. A let-off and a half there for Olympic. Still trailing, though, by 3-1, the visitors. Cruz has given it away. Thomas against Santolab. And he's won himself a corner. Good battling play there by Scott Thomas. He certainly puts himself about. Cardozo with the corner. Ciantar, Taliadoros, Emerton, Kalantzis are all in the middle. And it comes away by Burns, only though as far as Culina. His shot on target, good save Cruz. Thomas, deflection, another corner. Well, the Olympic fans rising to the occasion now, trying desperately to urge their team on to a goal before the break, which would put an entirely different complexion on this match. Again, Cardozo with the ball into the middle. This time it's a poor delivery. The entire Sydney United team now camped in their own area. Tsekenis' long ball over the head of Townsend, and Taliadoros, the first time cross, can't keep it in play. Jerry Connolly wants the goal kick taken, and taken quickly by Andrew Cruz. No push, says the referee. Brennan, the second touch. Tome with the chest down. Cardozo, nothing outside of him. Has to turn back inside. Culina. Culina gets a return from Tome. Culina. Plesa. Good defensive play there from Richie Plesa. Down goes Mitchell, stumbles really. Tries to retrieve the situation. Plenty of commitment out there. This is a blood and thunder contest between the two Sydney teams. A derby and a half. Ardone couldn't get past Tsekenis. Kalantzis now. To his left is Tome. Looking for the run forward there of Emerton, away by Santolab, only as far as Thomas. Will try his luck. Deflection, Kalantzis on his weaker right foot. Can't get enough power behind the shot. A minute now added on by Juric Connolly. He glances at his watch. Olympic desperate to score before the break. Tome once again. Still going, Norman Tome. Culina. Brennan wants to take the shot. And that will not trouble the goalkeeper one iota. Pumped forward by Cruz. Sterjovski shoulder to shoulder with Tsekenis. Sterjovski gets the decision. United will be in no hurry at all to take this free kick. Here's Ardone. Townsend. Ardone gets it back. Trying to find Mitchell. Straight though into the head really of Jason Culina. Away now by Ciantar. Nice ball there by Cardozo. Culina. And the ball breaks instead for Mitchell on that far side. That's a trademark turn there from Mitchell. Sterjovski gets the call from Burns. Burns will fancy himself from here. Well, Jacob Burns, with enough time and enough space, couldn't threaten that goal of Sydney Olympic. Well, there is the whistle to end an enthralling first half here, really. A dream scoreline for the home team, Sydney United. 2 goals inside the first 5 minutes from Danny Townsend and Steve Eagleton. Set the scene. Chris Kalantzis replied with a sweet volley for Sydney Olympic. But then David Mitchell, the player coach of Sydney United, restored the lead with a cool piece of finishing. The mistake made at the back by Adem Ciantar. And Sydney United could have extended it as well. Sterjovski might have had a hat-trick, couldn't find the target. But the half-time score here at Edensor Park is a very pleasing one indeed for the home side. Sydney United 3, Sydney Olympic 1.
Welcome back to Edensor Park here in the west of Sydney, and what a cracking game it is. Sydney United 3, Olympic 1. Who would have thought we would have read a scoreline like that after 45 minutes? Well, Michael, I guess I put my head on the block and said, on paper, this looks like lambs to the slaughter. I couldn't have been more wrong, really, could I? Well,
it is lambs to the slaughter, but the wrong way, I think, Wadey. It really has been an unbelievable first half with chances of plenty to both teams, I might add. So this game's not over by a long shot.
What would you put Olympics' poor form down to? Is it lack of composure? Is it overconfidence? What would you say?
I would think it's a lack of communication, to be honest, Wadey. I think that a few of the Sydney United players are pushing forward and the midfielders are not tracking back. They're leaving it for the defensive players to pick up, and as a consequence, the defensive players think that the midfielders are picking him up, and that player's just being left to himself, and that's where the damage is being controlled from.
Definitely, indeed. Let's just have a look at the stats. Maybe the stats might show us something a little bit other than we've seen. I guess there's been lots of shots on goal, and really Sydney United, even though they've hit the target, Olympic don't look out of this game at all, do they?
Olympic don't look out of the game. I thought when Sterjovski was through there, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, I thought he actually should have squared it to Townsend. Townsend would have had his first goal of his career, but it wasn't to be, and that let Olympic back into the game. Olympic have had quite a few chances to get even further back into the game, but poor finishing on a couple of occasions hasn't seen them do that. But there's still plenty of chances to come in the second half.
Yeah, there certainly is. Well, Andy Townsend took approximately 3 minutes to get himself on the scoreboard. As we look at the highlights, it really was a a dream start, wasn't it, for Sydney United, and one that really got this crowd pumped up for the first 45 minutes.
It really was. It was an unfortunate goal on Olympics' behalf in the fact that Kalantzis tried to clear the ball, a slight deflection off Townsend, and it's beaten Jim Kourtis from just inside the penalty area. Very fortunate, but when your chips are down, you take what you can get.
Indeed. Well, another man who's made a huge impact is Eagleton. He was formerly a Sydney Olympic player. He's made a huge impact on this right-hand side. This is the key, isn't it? This is where all the supply is coming from, and this is the goal. He's
burning up and down this right-hand flank. Actually, there's a burnt patch all the way up and down this right-hand flank, Wadey. He's really done his job today. A little bit suspect, I feel, defensive-wise. But coming forward, I tell you what, he's really ripping Olympic apart down this right-hand side.
The key for me, though, is Sydney United are always playing balls in front of the Sydney United strikers to run onto, whereas Sydney Olympic are doing exactly the opposite. They seem to be playing balls into feet with their back towards goal, and it takes a lot longer to get there and get a strike on goal.
It does. Olympic are going the long way around in trying to go towards the way of goal, whereas Sydney United, like you mentioned, very direct, very appropriate because they've got a big target man up in Mitch up front, and he's providing a good service for them. Hopefully his injury will get a little better and we can still see him on the park, but all in all, it's going to be a great second half.
Well, Chris Kalantzis is always going to have an impact on a game, and he certainly had that in the first half, and he almost put Sydney Olympic back in with a real fight. What a quality finish. 2 touches, one on the chest, one to volley.
I actually thought initially, Paul, that he had maybe handballed the ball, but we've seen on the replay what a great chest down, and the first time volley was just superb straight into the back of the net, and you can't ask for a quality finish like that.
There were times when there were 7 Sydney United players right across the back line. Do you think at times now there is a tendency to back off a little bit and try not to concede another goal rather than just to play your normal game?
Sometimes subconsciously you do think of that, and it's just something that happens to you. You don't mean to do it, but obviously with a 2-goal buffer they thought maybe they'd try and hold on. But it's a long time to hold on, especially when you've got a second half to go.
It certainly is. Well, David Mitchell is experienced in all facets of the game. He's now an experienced coach, and David Mitchell, quality finish as well. He really did take his time.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because Olympic was starting to get back into the game, and a bad mistake at the back there by Ciantar allowed Mitchell to rob him of the ball, went calmly around the goalkeeper there, and very calm finish.
What about Sydney Olympic? What will the talk be in the dressing room? They've got a lot of problems, but it does seem to be in those back 3, Ciantar, Taliadoros, Tsekenis problems.
I did notice Ante Juric with his socks pulled up. He was warming up there for most of the first half, so we could maybe expect to see him on in the second half. And also maybe Adem Poric, who obviously was left out for this game coming back from suspension. Maybe they need a little bit more direction in the middle of the park, and maybe he can provide that for Olympic.
Sydney United have scored 3 goals, but they could have had a hell of a lot more, couldn't they? Sterjovski had the chance to tuck it away inside of the foot, but just missed the target. They really need to maybe get one more to really bury Sydney Olympic.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to score one more, I would imagine, Paul, to just put Olympic to bed. Otherwise, Olympic are always going to be in with a show to come back. But like I said, Sydney United have to put their chances away, and they've had a few chances to do that.
They certainly have. Well, we're thoroughly enjoying the competition down here on the touchline. We hope you're enjoying it at home. After the commercial break, we will come back with all the action of the second half from Edensor Park.
Welcome back to Edensor Park. The second half about to get underway. It's a stunning scoreline in a lot of ways. United 3, Olympic 1. And because of that, Olympic coach Branko Culina has made one change. Not surprisingly, Adem Poric will be introduced for the last 45 minutes. Kept on the substitutes bench after being sent off in the opening round of the season against Northern Spirit. Poric is back out there to lend a hand to what is a difficult, but I might suggest a not impossible task for Sydney Olympic. Despite the scoreline, they've had a couple of chances. United couldn't put them away. Sterjovski, in particular, might have had 2 or 3 goals. So Olympic will feel they have a lifeline, a slim one as it may be. So both sets of teams, both sets of players, I should say, now back out on the park, awaiting the restart from Juric Connolly. There goes the whistle. Poric is on for Olympic. Tome, the player to make way. Brett Emerton goes basically into a centre forwards role. Bennett with the free kick in the meantime. He spotted the run of Townsend, who's quick enough to keep it in. Still going, Danny Townsend, and Kourtis there with the save. Well, how about that? They had plenty of warning in the first half about the threat of Danny Townsend, and they almost let him in once again. Cardozo getting the shirt tugged by Michael Santolab. And we'll cross down now for a moment to the number 2 at Sydney United, Laurie McKenna. And Laurie, a great scoreline for that first half, but Olympic probably not out of it.
No, the game's still pretty tight. We try to emphasise that to the boys at half-time. If they get a goal, they're well back in the game. So we just have to play tight and keep trying to play the way we've been playing and not change too many things.
Bennett sliding in there. Thomas gets it back. Poric on the park. Cardozo feels he was fouled. Plesa has to be quick. Well, Laurie, just about Danny Townsend, we don't know too much about him, but he's caused havoc down that far side, that right side of the field.
Yeah, Danny's came from the New South Wales First Division team, Moringa. We've known about him, and he's just extremely quick. He can play up front, can play wide. It's just a boy's pace, and he's a small boy, but he's got tremendous bottle. He just keeps going, so we just thought we'd try him out there, see how it went, and it's proved a good choice so far.
Thanks for your time, Laurie. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Okay, cheers.
There he is, Laurie McKenna, the assistant coach at Sydney United. The coach, of course, out on the park, and here he is, David Mitchell. Still going, Mitchell. They needed a good save there from Kourtis. Well, David Mitchell was down and out just before the half-time break with an injury, but he is letting Olympic know that he is not finished yet. Look at the speed here of the 36-year-old, I might emphasise. The speed and the strength to get the shot on target. Paul Wade, he puts the rest of us to shame, doesn't he?
Oh, he certainly does. I'm 36 and there's no way in the world I could do that. He's just like a good red wine. He's like a cab sav. He just gets better with age. Look at that. Brilliant stuff.
Good save from Kourtis. Corner to United. Burns to take it. Mitchell on the line. Sterjovski there as well. Away though by Kalantzis. Cardozo just hustled out of it by Ardone. And Barrett's ball always favoured the goalkeeper. So Poric onto that left side of the midfield. Maybe Ardone will get across there to try and stifle him. But in the meantime, Sydney United are getting the chances. Very optimistic from Sterjovski. I don't know if he looked up because there was no one in the middle. Difficult psychologically at the moment for Mile Sterjovski. He could have had a hat-trick. He'll be very disappointed with his finishing, but the key, I guess, is that he is getting on the end of things.
I think the supply is perfect for him. Very rarely does he come towards the midfield with his back towards goal. He's always running in the right direction. And I think while the supply on a very warm day like this is inch perfect like it is, I think the worst thing in the world for Olympic players is to have to turn and run towards their own goal to defend it. Psychologically, it just drains you, and your legs are obviously getting tired as well.
Plesa, the captain and sweeper, continues his run. Mitchell goes for the long ball instead. Ardone beaten to it by Brennan. Poric now with a touch. Well, David Mitchell is certainly making life difficult for Olympic, and here he is winning the ball back there. Good ball into Sterjovski as well. Sterjovski. Well, it's not going right for Mile Sterjovski. He got an awful bounce there, really, just as he was in his shooting stride. We've talked about Sterjovski and his confidence being sapped, I guess, by all these misses, but he's getting on the end of things. And what about David Mitchell once again?
Well, he robbed a man of the similar experience, Kimon Taliadoros. He's been around, maybe not in this position, but unforgivable to be robbed in that situation. I think Kimon and Peter Tsekenis should reassess and start to remember that they are central defenders and not midfielders and creative forwards anymore, and just get the job done.
Good ball by Emerton. Culina is in. What a tackle from Plesa. It had to be perfectly timed there from Richie Plesa, and it was. Olympic desperately need the next goal of this match. Bennett intercepts Mitchell. The idea was right. Townsend has the speed. Kourtis wants to try and shepherd it out of play. Townsend and the crowd believe that should be a corner, but the referee doesn't, and it's his opinion which matters. Let's have a look at it again. Townsend's so quick. You can almost play that ball without looking, really. That ball in behind the left side of that Sydney Olympic defence, because Townsend is so quick.
I mean, they're not thinking about it. That's the key. They're doing it with such ease because they know it's just going to go over the top every time. As soon as David Mitchell gets it, Townsend was on his way. Sterjovski's on his way. They're running towards goal. It's very simple, but oh so very effective.
50 minutes now on the clock. No change to that halftime scoreline, but there's been chances. Emerton. Another perfectly timed tackle from Plesa. Sterjovski now putting Tsekenis under pressure at the other end. And he's won the throw, Mile Sterjovski. You can see David Mitchell on the park saying, settle down, calm things down. He's a coach, of course, as well as a player. You can sense the pattern of this game. Free kick this time goes to Olympic. Mark Brennan fouled on that far touchline. Poric. Culina drifting in behind the forwards. Poric's ball up the line won't find Thomas, or will it? He's a rock at the back for Sydney United, Richard Plesa. Talked about him last week in this sort of form. He is certainly in international contention. Former youth international Richie Plesa hasn't played for the national team at any level since 1995 at the under-20s. One player who has been playing for the under-20s is Brett Emerton, and he's now going to get a word from the referee. A display of temper between those two, Bennett and Emerton. Free kick already in Olympics' favour. And Jerry Connolly is saying, just calm down, son. You've already got the free kick. Don't make me change my mind.
When the number of teams we've been playing on,
Kalantzis with a shot, and it wasn't really a shot of great significance in the end.
that is unforgivable, really. They call free kicks, set pieces, corners, whatever you want to call them, they call them gold dust because they can be a way of getting you back into a game. You might be having the biggest stinker ever, but if you can convert corners and free kicks that you've worked on during the week, or at least hit the target and make the keeper make a save, then it can bring you back into the game. And sometimes it's just the goal that does it. Now, they're just not even doing that at the moment.
Thomas against Bennett. Has beaten Bennett. Gets the ball in as well. He's improving every week, Scotty Thomas. He's certainly a threat for United, as we saw on a couple of occasions in that first half. Peter Bennett, who's done well to be on the park this afternoon. He's been sick during the week, but he put his hand up to play. He was needed this afternoon. He's doing a steady job. Emerton, Poric. Cardozo drifts to the left. Shot straight at Andrew Cruz in that United goal. Townsend somehow got in front of two much taller players there. He's an eager beaver, isn't he, Danny Townsend? Plesa pumps it forward. Sterjovski with the flick on. Mitchell, though, is miles away on the other side of the park. Emerton, misunderstanding. Given it away, Olympic, but United have returned the favour. Burns. Mitchell. Good shimmy from David Mitchell. Down he goes. Ciantar holds his ground. The ball stays in. Here's Poric. Looking for the 1-2 with Culina. And Poric almost repeated the Danny Townsend incident in that first half. Well, he kept running at him, Poric. And have a look at this. The clearance rebounded off him. Fortunately for United, it went wide of the mark. Townsend looking for Sterjovski, won't find him. Cardozo up the line. Kalantzis, handball against Townsend, was it? The referee agrees. I think David Mitchell's probably about to come off the park fairly soon. His intention was only really to play 50 or 60 minutes. He's now in that category. So expect a change as Emerton's header goes fractionally wide. And yes, here it comes. David Mitchell gets a well-deserved early mark. As we see a replay of that Emerton header, Mitchell. And the crowd like that too. He's deserved it, David Mitchell. Some warm applause from the United fans as Joe Caleta is introduced with just over half an hour left. It's his job to unsettle this Olympic defence in the same manner that Mitchell was able to do. Another player with plenty of pace, Joe Caleta.
I think the only way he's going to do that, Michael, is if he almost becomes the most tired player to walk off this ground. He really has got to drill himself hard, because it's sometimes very difficult coming on as a substitute to get up to speed very quickly. And it could take you 15, 20 minutes. He's really got to get into the game right from the word go.
Emerton hasn't been overly influential today, Brett Emerton. But here he goes in one of those trademark runs of his. Straight through the middle. That's good commitment in the end from Brett Emerton. Olympic could well do with an Emerton special sooner rather than later. The local derby, the official attendance 5,172. Disappointing.
Very disappointing, Michael.
Here is Caleta. Ciantar with the header down to his goalkeeper, gets bundled over for his troubles. Good courageous play by Bennett, but it won't come to anything, sadly, for United. This situation suits United. They would have expected Olympic to throw everything at them In the early part of the second half, they've been able to keep their goal intact. And of course, as we need reminding, as if we need reminding, it's still 3-1 to the home team. They have the buffer of 2 goals to play with. It's Olympic who have to chase the match.
The worst part about it all, Michael, is that these players are going to get very tired in the next half hour as this sun really starts to take effect after an hour of play.
Ardone and clatters into Ciantar. He's down. Walter Ardone tried to find a way through rather than around his old Olympic teammate. Couldn't do so. Eagleton. Kalantzis away by Santolab. Emerton lifts it towards Thomas, but Joe Caleta is happy to let that run out over the sideline. Joe Caleta, something of a super sub for the Pumas this season. Completely out of the game last season after a brief and unremarkable spell at the Melbourne Knights. Joe Caleta has been around a fair while. He's 32 years of age. He made his debut back in 1987. I think it was St George, in fact. It's his second spell with Sydney United. And there's a tussle between Taliadoros and Ardone. Frustration getting the better of Kimon there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see old teammates have a good go at each other and then shake hands at the end of it all. There'll be no love lost in any of these contests. I know that. It's vital that both teams get 3 points and continue to chase the leaders in the competition at the moment for glory.
Emerton and Jacob Burns. There's something personal there. He's tracking Emerton every chance he gets. He loves nothing better than to take the ball off his Olympic team captain. Poric, can he get through? He can. Adem Poric. It hasn't been cleared. Cardozo can't bring it down. And the danger passes for United. Adem Poric just burst through there for Olympic, and Pablo Cardozo, much to his own frustration, couldn't get the bounce of the ball.
Well, he's made 2 runs so far through the middle. They've not exactly been graceful, but they've been very, very effective. I think it's because he's just willing to have a go at this Sydney United defence. The build-up is so slow at the moment that Adem Poric has decided to take it into his own hands. He is a little bit fresher than everybody else, and therefore maybe he should. But he's certainly not going to give up without a fight, Adem Poric.
Onside and in space is Townsend. Caleta in the middle. Sterjovski now arrives, but the cross doesn't match the approach play. And Olympic have the ball back. That won't do their cause much good either. Total misunderstanding there really between Kalantzis and Emerton. Sterjovski, up he gets. Maybe should have been a bit more selfish there, Milo Sterjovski. He had Caleta to his left. Culina. Down he goes. Gets the free kick, wants to take it quickly. It's hot work out there now for these players. Although a breeze is starting to spring up here at Edensor Park. Burns taking his time. Can't find the run of Townsend. Finds Ardone instead. Caleta to his left, Sterjovski in the middle. Still going, Walter Ardone. Shoulder to shoulder. Plesa from 50 metres, or 40 metres I should say. He's prepared to chance his arm. Bennett drops it into the middle. Away there by Ciantar. Olympic needs some inspiration. Can Poric provide it? Eagleton goes down. This time the whistle is blown by Juric Connolly, Kalantzis. Not a lot of contact there. And Kalantzis is booked for descent and then kicks the ball away. So Juric Connolly doesn't dish out too many cards, but you wouldn't want to try his patience right now, Paul Wade.
No, he doesn't mind the hard stuff. He doesn't mind missed time tackles. He's been there, done that before. But what he does really dislike is dissent. Because he knows he's the boss out there and he has to make decisions. He doesn't like to be second-guessed or made a fool of. So you're right, don't get on the wrong side of Juric Connolly, because they'll certainly let you know by giving you a rest next week.
Change in the meantime has been made by Olympic. Off goes Mark Brennan, a midfield player. On comes Ante Juric, the sweeper. And Kimon Taliadoros, I think, might be pushed forward now as Olympic chase the game. A rearrangement at the back for the visitors. Just over 20 minutes left. They need a goal, they need it quickly. Caleta with a header. In the meantime, can't get it on target.
It must be of concern, Michael, for Branko Culina, the fitness of Sydney Olympic. I've watched them closely during the off-season and they have worked very hard indeed. But on today's performance, I don't know whether it's psychological, because so many people often say that the game on the weekend starts on Thursday night when you start preparing for it. At the moment, Sydney Olympic just don't look in the same sort of class, not only as footballers, but at fitness level either.
Another change now made, this time by Sydney United. Off goes the goal scorer, Danny Townsend. Off comes the very experienced midfield player, Steve Berry. Perhaps a sign that United might want to close the game down a touch. Sterjovski battling with Peter Tsekenis. He gets the tackle in. Berry is in there very quickly indeed. Barrett pumps it forward. Caleta offside. Joe Caleta. United will be relying on his experience for the next 20 minutes or so. What you want your strikers to do in this situation is probably just to hold the ball up and give the midfielders and defenders a little bit of time to catch their breath.
You do. There are a number of options for Sydney Olympic. They can, and I've seen Frank Arrock do this with great effect. He's played two strikers up front, but he's played them on the touchline. And what you find is people like David Barrett and Plesa will go, well, hang on a minute, what's our job?
Dreadful bounce there for Ciantar, and Caleta almost finds Sterjovski. Good keeping though by Kourtis, who was alert to the danger. Taliadoros now playing in his old position up front for Olympic, who are still 2 goals down. Emerton's shot. Comfortable take for the goalkeeper. Caleta over the top, onside is Sterjovski. He'll get there first, tries to chip the keeper. Unlucky. How unlucky was that? Great vision there from Sterjovski. The bounce was always going to favour him. It was over the keeper, off the upright. Would you believe it? Well, he could have had a hat-trick.
Certainly could. I tell you what, Peter Tsekenis and Kimon Taliadoros will certainly be reconsidering their futures as central defenders on this performance. They have just been torn apart. I mean, Tsekenis has gone from a position where in midfield he was always in possession of the ball to one where he very rarely touches the ball at all, except for getting a toe in every now and again. So it must be difficult, and I think this is the big wake-up call for Branko Culina's ploy to change things, and for the two players and their commitment till the rest of the season.
A nudge there by Adem Ciantar on Joe Caleta. Branko Culina certainly has a lot to contemplate if this score remains as it is. Hot favourites really going into this match, Sydney Olympic. Of course, Branko Culina, a homecoming for him after some eventful years, some eventful seasons at this club. Another chance for United, it's in! Amazing finish! What a strike there! He's worked hard, he's deserved that, Sterjovski. That is a finish of great quality, completely deceiving the goalkeeper, and that should be enough. The mistake made at the back by Olympic, the cross was what they expected, Jim Kourtis as well, but the bending volley from the outside of the right boot from Sterjovski finally, deservedly, gets him a goal.
And have a look where he's received the ball, facing the goal that he wants to hit. 2 touches, just similar to Chris Kalantzis, bang, hits the back of the net. Again, it's simple, but very, very effective. Just get the ball in front of the players running towards goal. They've not tried to do anything fancy this afternoon. They know their limitations. They've just been very, very direct and reaped the rewards.
And hasn't Sterjovski deserved that one? He's worked and he's toiled and he's put himself about and he's missed some, and now he's got one. And as we said, Paul Wade, if you keep getting on the end of things, sooner or later your luck's going to turn.
Indeed. A lot of the best strikers, they might score 1 goal every game, but they've had 10 chances to do so.
Handball against Taliadoros. Can't really see Olympic getting out of this now.
I would never have predicted before this game the scoreline sitting there at the moment. I think it's got to be Branko Culina's worst hour, to tell you the truth. They have been totally outclassed.
Stevie Eagleton is down at the back, maybe cramp. He gets up and he seems to be okay. Richie Plesa doing as he's done all afternoon, taking no prisoners or no chances. Well, what is going through Branko Culina's mind right now? Whatever game plan he had, I'm sure, was ripped up after 5 minutes. They copped 2 goals, and that really set the tone, didn't it?
Well, if I was Branko Culina, I wouldn't be trying to change anything else. This game has gone. I mean, the only thing really now is to stop it being even more embarrassing. But really, I think what he's really got to look at is maybe the attitude of the players out there, because I think it's psychologically their frame of mind that's lost them this game today. They're fit, they can play football. They've proved that to us in the first 2 games. So there's nothing wrong there with the quality.
Great interception there by Plesa. Berry helps it forward. Sterjovski crunched by Tsekenis, and Tsekenis is into the book. I don't think Tsekenis was too worried about where the ball was there. Frustrated, he's been run around by Sterjovski this afternoon. Peter Tsekenis. Young Joel Griffiths now on for United. The last 15 minutes, he'll go up front alongside Sterjovski. Barrett out to the right side at the back.
And I guess, Michael, does it ponder the question as we look for a coach for the Socceroos? David Mitchell's name being one of those on everybody's list. Can we now say from this performance that he is more of a serious candidate, working with nothing other than just guts and determination and a little bit of forethought.
Well, he's certainly there among the candidates, because when you look at what David Mitchell has had to contend with since he came to this club, all sorts of problems off the park, players not being paid, Soccer Australia threatening to kick the club out of the competition, moving to Parramatta, moving back to Edensor, more players leaving, quality players leaving, unknown players coming in, and still proving week after week that they can be competitive, and that is a testament undoubtedly to David Mitchell. Sterjovski against Tsekenis, and that will be a throw to Olympic. And the third card now of the match, this time to Peter Bennett. So maybe after a very hot afternoon, Jerry Connolly has run out of patience as well.
I guess everybody has a breaking point, even a Scotsman. He's still got a bit of a smile on his face, but he just likes to let the players know every now and again who's boss.
Sterjovski dispossessed by Tsekenis. Cardozo. Cardozo against Ardone. Still going, Cardozo. Down he goes, rather theatrically. Never a penalty, Pablo. And Richie Plesa has more than a quiet word in his ear.
I think he knew he was running out of room, and I've seen penalties given for that. It is unbelievable, but I guess in situations like this, Pablo Cardozo, nothing else has gone right for Olympic this afternoon. Why not try something a little bit different? Cheat.
Poric. Long ball. Emerton will get there. Taliadoros behind him. Over the top by Emerton. No one attacking the ball. Well, the game is over, you sense it. Although I did make the mistake of saying that last night in Brisbane. And of course we know what happened there. The Glory coming back from 2 goals down to draw the match in the last 8 minutes. But I can't see a lot of encouragement out there for the Sydney Olympic. Just over 10 minutes left, 4-1 in favour of United. This will be a result that they will savour, the Pumas, and deservedly so. Given very little chance really before the kickoff. But they have battled, and they've battled hard, and they've not stopped. Poric. Cardozo tries to bend it. Pablo Cardozo, 2 goals already this season. He is maybe not a great goal scorer, but he's a scorer of great goals, Pablo Cardozo. He always pulls out the specials. That one wasn't too far away. Griffiths pressuring Juric.
Michael, I just wonder how long it's going to take Branko Culina to sort these problems out, because I don't think it's just a problem of attitude. I think his son, Jason Culina, has still got problems with that leg. He's starting to limp now as the game gets older. Got to ask questions about Kimon Taliadoros and Peter Tsekenis' role at the back. There are a lot of underlying problems there now. Maybe problems that they're going to create for themselves. I think Branko will definitely have the toughest job this week to get a team that's been absolutely battered here today back in a state of mind where they can go out there with a sense of pride and try and do a job.
Culina chipping it forward. No one there for Olympic. And equally no one there for United as Andrew Cruz just kicks the ball out of play. Sterjovski, Griffiths. seemed to have been held back there by Juric. The referee had a good look at it. Didn't intervene. Plesa. Smart play this by Sydney United.
Yeah, there's no hurry anymore, is there? The game's died. Everybody's tired. I don't think Sydney Olympic can get up off the floor, no matter what the score is.
Caleta with a big bomb into the middle. Unchallenged was the goalkeeper, Jimmy Kourtis. So 10 minutes remaining here. The sting has gone out of the game. That fourth goal from United seems to have settled the issue in the minds of these players. Olympic need a miracle. They might get it. Cardozo released by Culina. Great save, Andrew Cruz. He really distinguished himself there, the goalkeeper.
Sydney United's man of the match this afternoon, and sponsored by great Sydney United sponsors, Union.
Have a look at this. Great ball forward by Jason Culina. Pablo Cardozo was almost celebrating there, but Andrew Cruz had other ideas. Corner to Olympic. Away by Barrett, who's been steady in the middle of that United defence this afternoon. Thomas. Juric has stayed forward. He's good in the air, big Ante Juric, but so too is Andrew Cruz. Griffiths does enough. Caleta will keep it in. Two in the middle for United. Berry and Sterjovski. Berry's header. Was there a handball? It's in! It's gone in! The flag is up though. On that far side, the celebrations may well be premature. Kourtis is hoping to be saved by the referee's intervention, and it won't count. It will not count on the ruling of the assistant. Let's have a look at it again. Steve Berry, the header, the deflection came back towards Berry. He turned, the shot again took a deflection, but he was offside according to the assistant. Paul Wade.
I wonder if it touches his hand when he gets that first touch. In comes the ball there. It ricochets up. Does it bounce up? Can we see it? Not quite.
That is where I think the decision was made. Berry was offside at that moment, much to the relief of that goalkeeper, Jimmy Kourtis. Still 4-1. The Olympic fans have seen enough, are starting to leave in their droves.
I think, Michael, at the start of the season, we talked at the launch how close this competition was, and I think this is a perfect example of nobody has the right to call themselves champions such a long, long way out from home. And Sydney United can stand up and put on a performance like this.
Yes, just 1 point out of 6 going into this match. Sydney United, Olympic, of course, with a 100% record. But that has changed after this result. Juric using his arms there to get on the end of things.
Sydney United next home
Sydney
match
United
is in the fortnight.
will go to 4 points.
Sydney United playing Carlton.
And Olympic just 2 points in front of them.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attendance.
Adem Ciantar probably won't want to see a replay of that third United goal scored by David Mitchell. Certainly has marred his afternoon. Berry battling away, has won the corner. Steve Berry, his first season in the Ericsson Cup at the age of 30. Another case of never giving up. It's never too late. Recruited from Blacktown City. And given his chance at this level, probably towards the tail end of his career. Burns with the corner. Out comes Kourtis, he's missed it. Poric gets the bounce. Emerton motoring forward now, if he can be found by Poric. Still going, Adem Poric. And in the end, it was a dreadful ball from Adem Poric. He just ran away from his supports. Those players who made the 70-metre runs to support him won't be feeling too happy with him at all.
And I think that's the difference, Michael. You know, the delivery into those strikers, he quite rightly called it. Brett Emerton was motoring like he hasn't done in the last 80 minutes. And he got himself into a position, if the ball had been delivered as Sydney United have been doing all afternoon, you could have at least had a strike on goal, but it wasn't. And I guess that's the quality difference at the moment.
Griffiths against Juric. The back pass for Jim Kourtis. The sun from the west starting to get in the eyes of these United players as it gets lower. Making it difficult in particular for the goalkeeper Andrew Cruz, but he's dealt with it pretty well. Made a couple of important saves in the second half. Emerton. Cardozo into the channel. Taliadoros with the layoff. Kalantzis, we haven't seen much of him in the second half. Barrett. Well, Ardone was out there to the right. Couldn't be found. Bennett with a throw. Griffiths beaten to the ball by Ciantar. Emerton now has Taliadoros to his right. And Taliadoros caught offside. He can scarcely believe it. Kimon Taliadoros. Probably the rest of the team can scarcely believe that he was caught offside in that situation.
Well, he's looking right down the line, isn't he? I think that's what astonished him. He obviously thought he was in an onside position because he had everybody in front of him. But I guess that just sort of wraps up the whole afternoon for Sydney Olympic. Do we put it down as just one of those nightmares we all have from time to time? Do we just dismiss it as something that happens in football? Or are there some real problems there for Branko Culina and the boys?
So just 2 minutes left plus stoppages. And the result is a foregone conclusion now. United will get the 3 points. Make no bones about that. And they've deserved it too. It could have been more. Sterjovski, as we've said on a few occasions, might have had a hat-trick himself. Griffiths with the ball in, looking for Sterjovski. United, of course, had a goal disallowed as well. So it hasn't been a match to remember for Sydney Olympic. A sobering lesson for the competition leaders. Offside again, this time against Scott Thomas. Yes, the spectators have already streamed through the exits here. Just over 5,000 of them this afternoon. Bennett skipping down this left touchline. Juric shadowing him towards the corner. That will be a corner to Sydney United. Ante Juric off the bench to try and steady the ship. United will play it short, will they? No, they won't. Burns will put the ball into the middle. Sterjovski's there. Griffiths is there. Santolab as well. Out comes Kourtis. Santolab gets there first. Ardone puts it back in. Barrett hasn't been cleared. Great shot there from Griffiths. How did he swivel onto that, the youngster? Superb work there by Joel Griffiths. Look how quick he was here. The reflexes on target. Good save, Jim Kourtis. Burns with the header. Well, one of the problems Olympic have quite clearly is at the back. They've been exposed by the pace of Danny Townsend this afternoon and the hard running of Sterjovski. And here come United again. Caleta into the box. Can they get number 5, the Pumas? Then it comes again from Caleta. Away by Poric. Space now at last for Brett Emerton. Does he have the energy? Needs support. Gets some from Culina. And that was tired legs, really, from Jason Culina. No petrol left in his tank. And Olympic simply running out of ideas. It's hit and hope now from the visiting team. We're into stoppages. 2 minutes now added on by Jerry Connolly. Sterjovski picks out the run of Griffiths, but the ball just too far in front of him. Poric. Taliadoros. They need to get it forward in a hurry if they're going to get a consolation here, Olympic. Look how many red shirts there are behind the ball now. They don't want to give up another one, Sydney United, and they won't. As the referee, Jerry Connolly, ends a memorable afternoon's work for Sydney United. The home team went into this match as clear underdogs, but they got themselves off to a dream start with goals from Steve Eagleton and Danny Townsend inside the first 5 minutes. Olympic able to reply with a sweet volley from Chris Kalantzis, but David Mitchell restored the balance before the break, prospering from a mistake made by Adem Ciantar. And United could have extended it even further. Sterjovski toiled and worked all afternoon, couldn't find the target, but finally did with a superb goal after 72 minutes to add some weight to a scoreline, which makes great reading for the Pumas and their fans here at Edensor Park. Olympic, who went into the match as equal favourites, have been brought down to earth with a final score of Sydney United 4, Sydney Olympic 1. David Mitchell certainly will be celebrating this result more than anyone else. He's worked hard on the pitch and off it. He ignored the criticisms and he's got his team up for a miraculous result. And on that note, we'll throw now down to the sideline and Paul Wade.
Thank you very much, Mike Cockrell. Yes, well, I'm joined by Sterjovski. And who we didn't in our wildest dreams assume that you could go out there and torment Olympic the way you did. Did you believe so?
Yeah, I think everybody in the team did. We've been working hard at training all week, and we all came out determined to win, and we all worked hard today, especially in the first half, and the result came.
Tactically, you won the game as well. I thought every time you received the ball, you were facing the goal you wanted to try and hit. Was that a plan during the week to play the ball over the top to get you running towards goal?
That's right. Mitch has organised us well. He put 3 out front today, 2 out wide, and just me in the middle, and I think it worked well.
Mille, thank you very much for your time. We've thoroughly enjoyed your performance and of Sydney United, and hopefully you can do it and entertain more crowds just like this one. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Wadey.
Good on you. Michael Brooks, devastated I am because I said on paper it was just a foregone conclusion. How do you feel about the game over the 90 minutes?
I think all in all, a very fair result for Sydney United. They absolutely dominated the game. There was a couple of patches there where Olympic maybe could have scored 1 or 2 more goals, but overall, Dave Mitchell's got to be very happy with his charges. I thought they were by far the better team, took their chances when they had to, and as a consequence, they won the game.
Indeed they did. I guess the big question now is, can Branko Culina pick up these boys? It's a tough job after a battering like that. Not too many teams have been battered like that over the years. I thought that was first-class performance.
Yeah, well, we got battered 4-1 in the first game of the season, and we bounced back and beat the Melbourne Knights. So it's going to take a really gutsy effort for Branko to get his men up, but there's some good talent there, and I wouldn't write Olympic off just yet.
Well, what should he do to get his boys back on track? Is it a psychological thing? Is it a fitness thing, in your opinion?
I think they've just got to get back to the basics of running and working for each other. I think there was a lack of that today. That was pretty evident, and yeah, just have a really hard training sessions on the track this week, and just get back to the basics of helping each other out. And I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Well, we certainly hope so, for the sake of all the Olympic fans watching today.